Today we're going to talk about cultural fit versus resume fit. So how do you go through a hiring decision and choose the right person? I think a lot of times we will look at a resume and we get really saturated on someone's work experience, which is 100% important to look at, especially if you're looking for something that's like a mid-level or managerial level job. You need to know that they have the skills or experience to at least get going, and you don't have to teach them every little thing or that they're qualifiable. Cultural fit and attitudinal fit are the two most important things when hiring to match a new employee to an employer, okay? Resume fit is just the skeleton. So like I'm looking at where you've worked, how long you worked there, what duties you had, but I have no idea what your personality is yet. I don't know what your attitude's like. I don't know what your outlook on life is. I don't know what your interests are. Hobbies. I don't know if you have family, if you don't have family. A resume is just a skeleton of a candidate. My advice is like when you go to hire, don't just look at a resume and think, oh, qualified or not qualified. No, there might be a couple deal breakers. So for any position you ever recruit, you may have anywhere from 2 to 3 deal breakers. So it's like they have to have this, this, and this. If they don't have that, not worth talking on the phone. But more times than not, you get a lot of people on the phone, and the interview is, the phone interview or video interview is trying to figure out, yes, their experiential qualifications, but more so the cultural fit. And so that's what you want to hire on. You want to hire based on if this person, if they align with your values. If the person has a cuss word coming out every other sentence, then that might not be the person. If they have a negative attitude and they complain about all their past employers, might not be the person. Generally, people do not change all that much. So like if they acted one way with a previous employer, they're probably going to act similarly with you. So cultural fit and attitudinal fit, that's what you're trying to interview for. Just make sure that you don't put all of your eggs in one basket on like what's on their resume. Oh, well, they don't have this on the resume, or they do have this on the resume. How many times have we made the mistake of we get an applicant for like a mover position and we see they have moving experience and we just instantly, it's like you're an animal and you're salivating because you're like, oh my gosh, we need somebody with experience. And you interview them and there's probably some red flags, but you disregard them because they have the experience, and so you hire them anyways. But if you had not hired them because of their resume, if you hired them because of their cultural fit, you might not have given them a job offer. It's stuff to think about. Give offers based on cultural fit. Do they fit your team? How could you understand whether they would fit your team? Well, one of the easiest ways is, let's say you phone interview them and now they're on to an in-person interview. And you could do this with any position. Ops manager, sales, mover, driver, whatever. Bring them in for an in-person interview. Maybe it's the owner or a manager that interviews. Do that, but then before the candidate leaves, introduce them to a couple people, but then walk away. And then, you kind of part ways and say, hey, I'll let you go, I'll let you leave at your own time or whatever, your own pace. But have a couple current employees chat with the person before they leave. And then you as the employer, go to your people and say, hey, what did you think about that candidate that came in today? Oh, that person was awesome. Like, they would totally fit in here. Or like, I don't know about that guy. Or I don't know about that lady. Because your current employees, when they get to talk to a candidate, they're not looking at their resume. They're not sitting there looking at all their qualifications. What is their one filter? Do they fit us? Are they one of us? Like, do they fit our team? So your people are actually like the best vetting process for your hiring. So I really advise like have a candidate meet 1 or 2 people on your team before they leave, and then ask your team members what they thought of them. I think a lot of moving companies do this with movers. They'll bring them on the team. Maybe they'll have like a working interview. They'll send them out on a job, and then they'll have the guys come back and they'll ask their current employees who have been there longer, they're veterans, hey, what'd you think about the new guy? And they'll tell you what happened. They'll tell you the whole story. Oh, this guy was great, or nope. This guy's dodging every heavy piece. He's not here to work. He's lazy, and you can weed people out. The question is, do we do that? I wouldn't want to waste time if I could prevent it, I wouldn't want to waste time sending somebody out on a job and having to pay them when like I just already know that they don't fit our business. So cultural fit is everything. What's a really great exercise to help you with this is to get a piece of paper out and a pen, and you and your leadership staff, which is going to be anybody that's a main key player at your business, and sit down and write out all of the key characteristics of what you're looking for cultural fit. And if you don't know this, like a person has a culture. There's a culture for an individual, but there's also a culture for a person. Another way of saying that is their values, their attitude, their characteristics, right? So write down the things that you want. Write down what your culture is. Write down the type of people that work at your company or the type of people you want at your company. And I think the process of writing it out on paper is going to now give you this avatar, this dream avatar of like, okay, this is what we want. And then go find that. And then when you can look at the piece of paper and then you can look at the candidate that you just had in your notes and you can match the two, that should be your sign that, okay, this is someone we would like to hire and bring them onto our team. So go through that process, write out that stuff. It's very beneficial, very. Don't just do it. Don't just give it to your managers and have them do it. And don't just you do it yourself. Make sure it's a team thing. Make sure you involve the leadership staff in that. But just remember, cultural fit always precedes resume fit. They get all the right experience on their resume, but people lie on resumes. You could write anything. That's why you should do employment verification checks and why you should call references, right? But culturally, if they fit and if attitudinally they match the mindset of you and your current team, it's generally a really good sign that they're going to be a good hire. With that being said, that's all we got today. Hope that was helpful and beneficial in your hiring process. If you guys ever need any help, whether that is a full-blown hiring campaign or you just need a couple bits of advice, let us know. Over here at MoveUp, we are here to serve you. We only work with the moving and storage industry. We're experts at hiring, recruiting, onboarding, and building culture. So that is all. We're signing off, and we'll see you next week.